Eve. Joining us now, Phil Parsons, an Army combat veteran. Hey, Phil, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Doing great. First of all, thank you for your service to this great country. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, so tell us what you're doing. You're running, right? 444 miles is what I'm told. The entire Natchez Trace Parkway. Is that correct?
That's correct. So September 20th, I started up there in Nashville, and I've been running approximately about 40 miles every day to end on the 30th, which is in just a couple days.
All right, so what's your position right now?
So right now I'm over here at this cabin right off the trace, mile marker about 102, I think is what it is, and
Okay.
just sitting down, getting a chance to take a break and talk to you for a second. So thank you for allowing me to have a break.
You bet. So, you're in Mississippi though, right? You're in the Trace
Yes, sir.
inside of Mississippi. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm on
Around
the Trace
Natchez, Kosciuszko, Natchez, in that range.
Yeah, Kosciuszko, I think is the name, if I'm
Yeah.
pronouncing it right. Yes.
Yeah, it is. We know folks from outside of Mississippi see that word and kind of struggle with it. Those of us around these parts that kind of grow up with it, but we appreciate that. All right, so the big thing is, why are you doing this? What's the purpose here?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I'm a combat veteran, but I've also had my own issues with mental health and issues related to suicide. And as my story progressed, I have taken an undertaking to try to create some more awareness for other veterans that might be struggling, and just kind of show them that that suicide, mental health, that stuff doesn't have to dictate your story or your life. You still have a chance to change or rewrite your story in the way that you would like it to be.
So the statistics here, Phil, are staggering, right, in terms of the number of veterans who commit suicide and on a daily basis.
Yes. So we know this, the statistics. I think everybody's heard of 22 a day. Maybe not. And if you're just hearing that's the normal statistic, I think it's a lot higher than that. It just depends on how you quantify or qualify veterans. Do you base a veteran off of 1 day in service, 5 days, 5 months, National Guard, active duty? How do you determine that? And so, but what it does get down to is that those of us who've been to combat are 5 times safer overseas in combat zones and then returning home. And so I'd like to try to do a little part to change that. And, I think you guys can follow along too if you want, at the philruns.com, and, follow along with me or track me from there as I continue this journey south.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And then first responders as well, right? A big problem there.
So with first responders, there's not a lot of statistics, but what we do know is that more first responders die by their own hand than in the line of duty. And so
Wow.
I have a lot of brothers and sisters that have they left the military and they become first responders, and because that kind of flows in their line of work. And so you know so I have friends on both, both sides that are affected by this issue. And so, just kind of, I'm doing as much as I can, just doing my part to, raise awareness and, for the general public, but then also to help and encourage, my fellow brothers and sisters on both sides.
And you've gotten some support from members of the U.S. Congress as well. Is that correct?
I just finished running with a couple of their representatives up here. They did about 2.5, 3 mile run walk up to here. So yeah, that was very nice. They and that's one of the things I mentioned to him. If we want to have an impact on veteran suicide or suicide in general, we need to spend time listening to people going through difficult situations. It's not that we need to be able to do anything more than the willingness to listen and validate their situation.
You've been featured, Phil, we understand, on a number of other podcasts and news outlets as well to get the message out and really promote your efforts here.
Yeah, I've been on a few other podcasts, the Adventure Jogger, 10 Junk Miles. There's a couple more that I've been on. There's the news agency. Apparently, they ran an advertisement on me last night, or an ad. I don't know what you guys call those. But I was on the news last night there, and that generated a little bit of response. I had some people biking the trace, and then they let me know. They're like, "Hey, you were on the news last night. Congratulations, keep going, yay!" And we were all of us bicyclists, and you're all climbing up this hill. So that was nice little encouragement there. And like before, they. I was just encouraging, the bicyclists, hey, follow along, philruns.com and link up with me down the road, when I get a chance to stop and I'll chat for a minute. So.
What's that site again? philruns.com. Is that right?
That's correct. philruns.com. Mm-hmm. That's all of the information is right there. Everything from pledge it, a support option, and then tracking, follow where I'm at, a little bit more about me. philruns.com.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you back to running when we complete the interview today? You back on the road?
I'm going to be back on the road probably pretty soon. I do need to eat a bite of lunch first before we go. I got to get some calories back in me. Yes, I do. I do. I'm my stomach over here. Glad you haven't heard yet, but it's kind of
40 miles a day. That's aggressive. 40 miles a day is a lot.
Well, you're right. So here's the thing behind that. When I realized I didn't have to be super elite to do something like this. I can be an everyday father, veteran, and still I could train to a level that I could do 40 miles a day, and that would also give me the FKT for the southbound truck and the trace there, and that way I would kind of literally own my story, and whether it's veterans, my family, my kids, first responders, just kind of demonstrate by my own actions, a way to own your story and rewrite it. Yeah.
Well, it's awesome, and I certainly hope that in raising awareness we can address these critical issues. I just hate to hear about so many of these precious veterans and first responders who unfortunately make the decision to take their lives. I hope we can get through that, and that your efforts put a stop to that, honestly, in total is what we'd like to see. Appreciate it, Phil. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
You bet. And good luck to you. I know you'll make it. Appreciate it. We're coming right back, folks, in the Element Wealth studio.